Hello and welcome back to the CSGB racing channel here on YouTube. Oh, sorry, CSGB, I think I said that wrong then. Whoopsie. Anyway, we're here for the sprint race tonight for the F1 guys. Here for the 6th round of the second season. Expecting a decent race tonight. Obviously sprint races here are always chaotic. So a very entertaining last night. So that could be if there's going to be anything like that. Also, we have half a laps tonight. We had 28 yesterday. Today, we only have 14. So that should be very interesting. Just wait, I think waiting for a couple more drivers now. Possibly, I know we are reading up, so that will be it. We have 14 by the looks of things. Vapor King getting in there a little bit later. Yep, we will have 14 then taking to the track tonight. I think we had 18 yesterday for the feature race. So not quite the same turnout there, but it should be fine. Just me in the box tonight. Dane cannot make it. For some reason I can't get a screen to see the comments. That's a little bit weird. Yeah, we do have 14 taking to the track tonight. Obviously, last night's race winner will be starting down at the back of the grid as it always is. We have a full reverse grid from last night's feature race. Apart from if you didn't show up yesterday, you get put to the back, as then it's only fair. Run you through the grid order once we get it. Drivers, they'll have to wait till they've all sorted out. We'll go through their setups, their strategy. Get that all sorted. There we go, now it's finally starting to work so I can see comments when that loads. We have now got the 30-second timer. You can see Jimbo watching from work. Hey, hello buddy. Shame you can't be here tonight. You looked at a decent pace yesterday. I mean, you should be working, so might just shout a little bit louder at one point just to get you in trouble. But we should be in for quite a good race here. I have to wait and see what happens. I think the timer just expired, so we'll get to see the cars on the grid any second now. There we go. I do believe Rain Man is on pole. And there in fact he is. If we get up the tyres for you, we can see a couple of cars are starting on the mediums. We're only through the order now. So CSGB Rain Man will start on pole position. After, I think he retired last night due to lag issues. Second place then Jay Prentice in Racing Point, nearly to Force India. And then Festival line up in P3 ahead of Hindle in P4, who's looking for a good race. I think we jinxed him a little bit last night, Dane and myself, but hopefully he can get a decent first lap. Then we have the first of the medium runners there on in the Ferrari there, sitting in P5. Ogre Train Man again was caught up in that lap 1 incident yesterday. Looking to have a decent race, and then Vapor Shea, the third of the 3 cars. So they're all starting together, 4th, 5th and 6th, but Shea will be on the soft tyres, as well as most of them. P7 then for the Debutant, finished I think down in P10 yesterday. So a bit to know there, also on the soft tyres. Then Kazakhs, I think he said last night he might have been kicking himself a little bit after the race, was right up there due to him trying a different strategy but made a mistake. He'll be starting on the mediums as well. Then ahead of Eklund and Timmy, who rounds out with top 10. Then we get to the final driver, who will be starting on those medium tyres, which is TRT James. Obviously involved in that very hectic battle last night. Vapor Trench in there down in P12 ahead of Netsky. And then Vapor King down in P14. Now I've got a feeling the grid might be a little bit wrong here, because I think Netsky won last night. So, actually no he didn't, it was the Mercedes, isn't it? Yeah, okay, no, I think the grid is... No, Netsky was second. Yeah, okay, so... Did a little bit wrong, obviously. Your race winner from yesterday isn't here. That was Ronzus, the Mercedes Timmy's teammate. Go back to the front then. Rainman now just pulling into his grid position. Kazakh is disconnected. That's a shame there, down in P8. So now wait for the last car to slot into their grid slot. For some reason we either have front wing cam or not front wing cam. There we go, now we get to look off board as the 5 blue light reds do come on. I haven't got my thing up on the screen, so I apologise for that, but we are racing in Kota. There's like a strong start from Rainman there as well. Hindle has jumped Fefster off the line as well. I think Fefster didn't get the best of starts, but Jay Prentice will hold second place. And actually Fefster goes around the outside of Hindle at turn 1. I think Hindle will retake that around the outside of turn 2. You can carry a little bit more speed there, and the racing points are up into second and third. We have a couple cars down at the back. That is Championship leader Netsky with Vitino and Kazakhs, who has left the session. He might have got back. But those three having an issue there, the same place we saw the 3 cars go off yesterday. Trainman held 5th ahead of Shea. Vapor King up to P7. What a start from the Ferrari. Started down in 14th, I do believe, so he's halved his position already. And we saw yesterday he had very good pace during the feature race. Kazakhs has rejoined. He might not be too impressed to see his car has damage already. I'll have to wait and see what he can do for the rest then. Eklund and James also there. With Timmy just behind them, and now Fefster's been caught out by Shea down into turn 11. I still struggle with calling numbers around here. Trainman and Vapor King, and 2 Ferraris going side by side. Vapor King will take that position up the inside of what I believe is 16. Trainman just sitting behind now as he watches his teammate go wheel to wheel with a customer team. Vapor King does, however, run a little bit deep. That is a very good start from that Ferrari there. Had a very good pace yesterday. At the timing string glitches there, so you can't exactly see what's going on. So we'll stay on board with the second of the 2 Ferraris, as Vitino is retired in the pit lane. I'm not sure what the reason is there, as Fefster I think has been overtaken. Yeah, around I think the outside there of the second corner. It's a good move there from Vapor King. Timing screen sorting itself out slowly. Actually, Netsky is not leading right now. It is his teammate. There we go. It does sort itself out. Seems to have calmed down a little bit just for now. Just have a look at the guys towards the back. Is their front wing damage? So Kazakh's got away with it. And Netsky looked to have survived as well. So maybe Vitino the only driver out of the 3 there, being caught with front wing damage and that contact or whatever happened. I'm not entirely sure. The racing points there, just Linus Stern trying to keep up with Roman ahead of them. It looks like we're struggling just a little bit. And then we have what seems like quite a big train here, as King and Fest are still fighting it out for 5th position in this race. So the points only go down to P10 tonight. Went down to 12th yesterday. Almost a little bit like the real life F2 there, where the second race gets less points. Obviously it's top 8 there, top 10 here. And now Vapor King will look to pull away, close up that already 2.5 second gap as the 2 racing points go side by side into turn 1, possibly team orders there. Hindle gets up the inside of Jay Prentice into the first corner. Could have been a diving move, or they were side by side. So you can brake very late up into the first corner here due to the elevation. Still a little bit of a train here behind Vapor King. He is pulling out a little bit ahead of Fester. And behind them we got Trainman, Eklund and James hanging on, as well as Timmy. In fact, they're all here. Vapor Trench as well on the back of this train. Then with the 2 that had the incident at the start, Netsky and Kazakh dropping off the back. Now they funnel up over the crest. We see a bit of a different camera angle here on the back of the Renault. Obviously the back of this train showed very good pace yesterday. I think pulled off the 1 stop. Wasn't many of them that tried it. But he definitely tried it and it worked out for him. I think he got a podium in the end after penalties. As Verstappen now looks to pull away slightly as well. See, on those softer tyres, they will be a little bit quicker, but those tyres will degrade a lot quicker as a consequence of that. And I think Vapour just sent up the inside of turn 20 on the Racing Point. They're on side by side, however. Prentice will just hold on to that third position for now. Running up towards turn 1, Shea thinks about a move to the inside, has to back out of it. It does seem to be a little bit quicker for the time being. So they're on through the first sector. He's got up the inside of turn 4. And he's pulled it off. What a move there from Vapour in the Williams. As a tangle behind, Vapour King half spin from the Ferrari, just about holds on to it. However, Fester does get back through up into P5. Not sure what happened to Jay Prentice there. May have had a slight snap of oversteer in that Racing Point. To let the Williams pass, and then King tried to try a move as well towards the end of that first sector. Didn't quite work out for him, but managed to catch the spin. Trainman, I think they're still the lead driver on the medium tyres. Just get up the position changes for you then on the screen. Biggest winner so far, Vapour King. They're up 8 positions, started last. Was actually in 7th. I think by the end of the first laps they got a very good lap. Biggest loser so far would be Vitino, who's lost 7 and retired. But it's still racing. It is Kazakh there, so he was caught up. In fact, his AI was caught up in an incident on that first lap. So we have the first cars now diving into the pit lane. That is Vapour King in the Ferrari and Vapour Trench in the Renault. These guys, however, they are still holding up just about. Gaps at the front are starting to extend a little bit. Rainman just pulling away from Hindle ever so slightly. And I think Shea might be actually reeling in the Racing Point there for second position. However, he is pulling away from Jay Prentice, now 1.5 seconds behind the top 3. Struggling for pace a little bit by the seams. Here's Fester now right behind him, coming down into turn 11. Go on board with the Haas there, tries to get a better exit. Is using overtake now and will use the DRS. On the run down the straight, Jay Prentice feeling the need to be a little bit defensive. The Haas will go to the inside, brake a little bit later and we'll try and get a switch back. However, finds the Racing Point there, just stopping in front of him, no way around him. Look behind, any changes there, doesn't look like it quite yet. Come off board though, just to try and catch a move if it happens. I think Fester there once again just tried to get a bit of a better exit, tried to get a little switch back. But 16, he's actually lost the back end there. And that's the Haas out of the race, just had a very freak snap of oversteer. Coming through 17 and 18. Couple of cars diving to the pit lane now. It's Jay Prentice, Trainman and Eklund. We have a full course yellow of some kind. It's a virtual safety car. So these 3 will be picking up a shorter pit time overall. As the Haas was held in the pits a little bit to let the other 2 drive past. You can't get an unsafe release in the game. Top 7 still yet to make a pit stop. That's now 2 cars out of the race. Go back to the leader now. 3-second gap for Rainman out in front as the track does go green. Loses a second instantly there. Obviously the VSC isn't the most reliable thing. For the delta times, I think it just seems to make the numbers up. Even when you're racing, you can tell the numbers are a little bit off. However, Timmy right behind James now coming down towards turn 12. No defensive move there from James, so Timmy will go up towards the inside. If I think around a little bit deep, those soft tyres will be starting to wear a little bit now compared to the mediums. Maybe a little bit of contact there as well. James potentially losing a little bit of his front wing. Both drivers a little bit wide at the apex of 16, but they both seem to get away with that one as well. So they run through. Natsuki now up into P6, however is yet to make a pit stop. And Hinder's retired from the session. What has happened to that racing point? He's crashed into the pit entry. And we have another full course yellow, and this time it's another virtual safety car. Hinder, they're a little bit optimistic into the pit lane, ran a little bit wide. Very easy to do here. The pit lane is very odd. It's a mistake from the racing point driver when once again a podium looked almost certain for him. And we saw that in France as well. I think he was leading there in tricky wet conditions. He lost the back. Now the track goes green once more. Vapor Shea is your new race leader. Ahead of Timmy and Netsky now up into P3. Also on those soft tyres, so it clearly feels like there's not much point in pitting earlier than midway. Those soft tyres clearly still working for him. He has 7 seconds, then back to Rainman. Top 3 are the only ones yet to make a pit stop. The bottom lot already have stopped. I do believe Rainman is going to still be that net race leader if we get the right one up on the screen. He's currently 12 seconds off the lead, so he will take that lead back. Trainman has also jumped his teammate. By the looks of things, we try and get back up to the right screen for you. Look at the tyres, see where everyone is at. So front 3 actually still yet to make a pit stop, as I think they're going to come in now. No, just the top 2, Vapor Shea and Timmy into the pit lane. Oh, so Netsky is in, he dived in very late then. So I do believe that will be CSGB Rainman retaining the lead of this race. Goes past 1, 2 and then the third car, the Williams, stops very far down the pit lane. Trainman now up into P2. I think he was one of them that pitted under that VSC, so he gained quite a bit of time. Vapor Shea rejoined side by side with his teammate on the exit of turn 1, but I think he just lets him go there. That also may have been just better traction from James. He is in softer tyres. Vapor King now went into P5, so he's gained another position there. Jay Prentice into P6. Only 2 drivers on the soft tyres going to the end. So Ekelin then in P7, Timmy in 8th, Netsky into 9th as Vapor Trench now retiring from the race. He's gone off at turn 7, I think that is. However, no full course caution yet for this one. Everyone now guaranteed at least a point as long as they get to the end of this race. I think we may have a free wide moment there coming down towards turn 12. Eklund getting past Jay Prentice now up into P6. Timmy on the inside coming into turn 13. Jay Prentice holds around the outside in his paint car. I think they were 3 wide there very briefly, coming down towards the almost hairpin-esque corner. It's not quite a 180, but it's still quite tight. Vapor King also in DRS of Shea, not quite close enough, I don't believe, this time around. Just sits behind yet again, over halfway now, lap 9 of 14. In this race, as I think Netsky's gotten past Timmy there up into turn 1. Kind of came out of nowhere by the looks of things. I didn't see him close enough on the timings, but he did make that strike, because he's now very close behind Jay Prentice, who runs a little bit off the track. He would have been pinged for track limits there, as Netsky has so much more grip there. Looks like he has a lot more downforce in that Alpha Tauri. Jay Prentice forced to go defensive now into 11. If you try and hold it around the outside, just ran off the track a little bit but backs out. This move though looks to be quite an easy one now as they run down towards turn 12. As I think Timmy's actually gotten past Netsky instead there. But Netsky does hold it back around the outside. All getting very tight here in the battle for what is P7. I think Neski's actually got him past Jay Prentice very nearly. We'll try around the outside of 16 and I think he's got the move done. Very impressive overtaking there once again from the championship leader. Jay Prentice trying to have a look into the 19 but nothing's going for him there. Him and Timmy now getting very close just behind. We'll see what happens between these two as now run up into turn 1. Both drivers do have DRS. Will Timmy think about a lunge? Not quite, just sits behind for now. Netsky now just pulling away, already found a second over these two. Let's look back towards this other battle we're currently on track. Between Vapor King and Vapor Shay for P4. Train Man also closing in on the win there towards Rain Man, currently leading. Does now run down towards turn 12. Very long straight here. Doesn't look like King is quite close enough this time around. Further down to me and Jay Prentice. Prentice once again being forced to go very defensive and then comes very aggressively back over to the racing line. That is allowed. You're allowed to make one move off the line and then you're allowed to come back onto it. However, the Mercedes alongside couldn't quite take the line. As Kazakhs now retires from the session, looks like he's lost it coming out of 14 or 15. I think I saw mid-apex there. Not entirely sure what's happened there to the Red Bull, but we won't be getting a safety car now at this point in the race, as the game doesn't exactly know how to deploy a late safety car. We now have a battle for the lead as well. Rain Man and Ogre Train Man now fighting with just under 4 laps left now. Vapor King still right behind his, I would assume, his esports teammate. For that will be the battle for 4th, and then we have Netsky on the back of Ekeland and Timmy on the back of Jay Prentice, so 4 battles to try and keep an eye on now at this very late stage in the race. Who's going to be the first one to make a move? It looks like Trainman's going to be inside. What was that? Was a very late move there. Actually, I think that's just netcode. Thought Rain Man was getting very aggressive then, but I think that may have been a little bit of lag. Or maybe just trying to scare his opponent. And King passed Shay as well. And I think Netsky might try and make a move here as well. The Haas has run a little bit deep, but will hold that position there. And then Timmy and Jay Prentice also still right together. 2 of the 4 battles did change position there. However, King and Shay very close for the double right. And now TRT James is getting involved in the battle. 3 laps left to go here for the sprint race. Train Man looking to pull away now. Will not want Rain Man to be having that DRS. As Prentice comes into the pit lane. May see a fastest lap attempt here for the Racing Point. Not sure why you would pit this late on in the race. I don't believe he would have had damage. But it will be fresh softs going onto that Racing Point. Shaden still right behind King, now coming down through turn 10. And then onto the brakes for 11. I think Train Man has just about broken the DRS there. In fact, he hasn't. So they were very close over the detection point. Obviously that was before turn 11, but he has got the straight line speed to make sure Rainman cannot get back at him. James is now within DRS of Rainman as well for P2, and then King and Shay once again still very close for P4. Netsky as well chasing for another position here, trying to get onto the back of Ekeland to take 6th position in this race. Started down in 13th, did that Alpha Tauri. I'll come through with a very flat and very quick double right-hander for the left flick of 19 and then down into 20. As our leader starts the penultimate lap of this race. Into turn 1 now. Trainman has broken that 1 second gap back to Rainman, who has James all over the back of him coming through the first sector. Looks like King just managed to break a little bit of a gap to Shea as well. And J Prentice going very slow. I think he's just saving his battery. We very well might see a fast lap here from J Prentice down in P9. As James gets past Rainman for P2. Now that Williams' mission is to take on the leader. There have been some time penalties pop up in this race. I didn't quite catch what they were. And now Eklund and Netsky going side by side into turn 12. However, Eklund holds it around the outside and will keep the line for now. Has forced Netsky all the way around as he locks up. Space is given though, and I think that'll be Netsky's position. He has the inside now for 17 and 18. But Eklund does stick around the outside and has kept the position into 19. Very good driving there from the Swede. Now onto the final lap. They have a couple more attempts now, not too many chances to get that position. Netsky using every part of the track on entry there for turn 1. And he's got a much better exit as well. We'll go around the outside of turn 2, and that is now P6 for Netsky. Just ahead of them, Vapor King and Vapor Shea very close together on track. Rayman now 2 seconds off the back of those front two, but James does have DRS on the back of Trainman for the win. As we see J Prentice there, I don't think he set the fastest lap. At least nothing came up on my screen, but I think this lobby is a little bit bugged for me. Trainman now having to be very defensive, has 1 sector left to keep this win. The penalties may still come into play. Try and see here, Eklund's still on the back of Netsky. I don't believe he'll be able to retake that position. Shea on King. King's look to be the quicker of the two of them as James is spun coming through turn 16. A mistake there from James could very well take him off the podium as well as King goes round the outside. And he spun again, I think possibly collision with his Williams teammate. But Olga Trainman will take the win here in Kota. But will be relegated on penalties. Rainman then takes the win. But Ferrari do get both cars onto the podium, P2 and P3. Not quite the top step, but it's still a decent result there for the Scuderia. Vapor Shea then finishing in P4 ahead of Eklund and Netsky. Timmy then in P7. James dropping all the way down to 8th. Looked on for at least 2nd place. Just made a mistake coming out of 16. He may have tried a move and they spun. However, I didn't catch that, so I'm not sure what happened there. Could have just got on the power a little bit too early. And then J Prentice will take the final position down in P9. So there may have also been a collision between the Williams duo coming through turn 18. But Vapor King has gone from 14th and last on the grid all the way up into P3, I believe. Very good drive there. See both Ferraris getting up on the podium. Could have had a 1 and 3. But this track, penalties are almost guaranteed to come with any result. So there we see a very unique celebration. I have not seen that one before. But Rainman does take his first win of the season. Very good result there. A couple of drivers got unlucky at the start, just being caught up in incidents. So move on now, hoping to see the classification. And there we go. Rainman with no penalties and does take the win ahead of Trainman, who started 5th, and then Vapor King started 14th. 2 Ferraris there up on the podium. Very good result for them as well in the constructors. They've been struggling a little bit, but they finally got it together. Vapor Shay then finished in 4th ahead of Ekelund, Netsky, Timmy, James, J. Prentice being the last of the finishers. Fast slap going to James. So Prentice on the fresh softs couldn't quite manage it. Looked like to be about 2 tenths off. And then your non-finishers, Kazuks, Vapor Trench, Hindle, Fefster, and Vitino. Hindle once again very unlucky. Possibly outbraked himself coming into the pit lane. And still a decent points haul for Netsky in P6. However, the gap at the top of the championship might have come down a little bit after that one. But that will be it then for the CSGB F1 sprint race here in the United States of America. Thank you very much for joining. Come back in about half an hour time to watch us F2 guys take to the track. Hope you enjoyed the stream. It's been a pleasure to be here once again. But we will hope to see you either in half an hour. Please leave a like and do all that stuff. Helps the league out a lot. Obviously, you know, gets the channel spread around. We are looking to grow, I do believe. So yeah, please leave a like. Please share as well. It'll help us out very much. Hope you enjoyed this race and hope to catch you soon. Until next time.